Hello everybody, Unholy Vision here from Venomous Pictures, and today I bring you a review of the Logitech F710 gamepad here. It's designed similar to a PlayStation 3 controller, in a sense, with a sort of Xbox design right here, with the Y, B, X, and A buttons. So there's a lot of similarity there. It does work as a actual Xbox controller in the set mode, and then you swipe it over, and you will get into an X input mode, so you can use this for newer and older games. And if you know, as a PC gamer at least, if you know and you played PC games, that the actual Xbox 360 controller is kind of the easier route to go, because there are games that literally pop up A, B, so on and so forth buttons on the actual screen, visual. It's visual buttons pop up on the screen, and if you don't have this design controller, you may have a little bit of confusion if you haven't pre-assigned everything. So some of those combo moves or something like a fighter game or whatever may come in confusion otherwise. But that's nice. This controller will go into that mode and act sort of like an Xbox controller. It has a standard layout like an Xbox controller. It's got a vibration button right there. This allows you to sort of change the depth of how hard it vibrates, and the intensity of how long it sort of the intensity and the length, in a sense, because not every mode is the same. There's a preset. They're already preset. You don't actually get to customize how well it does, but you get to customize out of the preset vibrations they have on the actual programmed into the actual controller. So if you like it real short, you can do that. You like it real about medium, or real long, or so on and so forth, and really hard, you can do that with the swap there. So if there's an explosion or so on and so forth, hit, whatever, in the actual game, you will fill that however you have preset it. There is a mode button right here, and there's a LED right next to it that indicates which mode you're in. The mode button switches the D-pad and the joystick here. So let's say you're in a game that you want to use the D-pad over the joystick. You can change it where it swaps that, and it makes the joystick input onto the actual D-pad, and you'll control the game with your D-pad instead of your joystick, which is sort of nice if you're wanting that for certain games. That's nice. Certain games that's kind of meh, but it's a feature, so that's great if you want it. The triggers, they're kind of like an Xbox, I would say. The bumper button kind of deal here, and the trigger here, similar to an Xbox. It's sort of like a PlayStation when it comes to the arch here, but it's not. The back trigger here is not like hanging over, so you don't have any of that fiasco that some people complain about. And it's got a nice sort of grip here. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a little arch right here, so when you hold your hands, you've got a better grip than just, say, the PlayStation controllers, where you just loop your hand around and you cup it. So let's say this is a PlayStation controller, you'd be cupping it sort of similar to that. With this, you have more comfort, in my opinion, because of the arch, so you're sort of cupping it like that, and your fingers have a place to sort of go into, instead of just loosely gripping onto the thing. It's rubberized on the back, so you got more grip there too. Now, the controller has this button here that works similar to the Xbox home, or the home button or guide button, which whatever you want to call it. So big picture mode works just fine that way. The dongle right here, this is 2.5 gigahertz wireless frequency to that. It came with a extension cable that you can plug that into. I had a few problems with that. That's my biggest complaint here. The dongle into the extension cable for me plugged into the back of the computer. I had a little bit of problems with that. It would cause some kind of controller lag. So I put it into thinking, hey, you know, I had some problems there, so I'll plug it into the back of the computer directly. And while that did eliminate the controller lag, I would have some controller drops because I didn't have it in the line of sight, I guess. So every now and then my controller, the mode button right there, it would start flashing. The little LED for the mode light, it would start flashing as if the controller was interrupted. So I picked up a powered USB hub, and everything works now just fine. It's in the line of sight, and it's receiving enough power, so all is good. It's like it was plugged into the back of the computer, but yet not. So I don't know what the ordeal with that is. If you have that problem with this, you may want to do just like I did. If you do get one of these, you may want to pick up a powered hub to eliminate that problem. As for the back of the controller, pop that open, and you see it's got two AA batteries. And with this, I will say complaint a little bit, not the biggest problem, but it is kind of a shame. The controller will not turn off completely. When you have this actually plugged into the computer, it will always be seeking out the radio frequency all the time, trying to stay connected to the computer. And it will not turn off. I found this out when I wanted to use an Xbox 360 controller over this. After using this for a while, then I sometimes swap back and forth for certain reasons if I want to use a controller for whatever reason. Anyways, the controller would, on the Xbox controller, it's set to player 2. So I was like, what the heck? I turned it off, turned it back on, still player 2. So I went to this, I swiped the button up here to the X input instead of the actual Xbox mode on this controller, and I turned my Xbox controller back off, turned it back on, and I got player 1 again. So that's one thing you might want to consider if you're having an Xbox controller as well. You may want to change it to X input mode for whatever reason. If after you're done playing, or if you don't, you're a switcher, you switch around the controllers like myself, you may want to do that, because this thing will run all the time, and it's kind of a shame. It goes into a sleep mode, so I don't know how much power that drains compared to being on, but it's still going to be running power, so that's kind of a shame that you'll be draining your batteries all the time. Even if it's just a much smaller degree, you'll still be draining your batteries. The biggest thing I wish they would have done is put rechargeable batteries in here, because the actual, like, some of their products, or at least the ones I bought, like the G700S wireless gaming mouse, it comes with a rechargeable battery placed into this, which would have been nice to have a charge port on the top. Already had some batteries in there, and then you could just charge your controller and play at the same time, similar to an Xbox controller, but without the hassle of having the battery packs, where if they stop making them, you're kind of screwed and you have to go throw your controller out in a sense, or use it as wired all the time. So that kind of stinks. The method of travel, when you have this off, there's a little port here, little thing in the back here, and you put your dongle inside of there and just close this up right here. So you won't lose your little dongle. You can travel with this thing nicely. And then just pop that open and you're good to go. So overall, I do recommend this controller. It's a good alternative to an Xbox controller. It's got the modes so it can be put into an older style controller there if you wish. You want to use it like an old controller for older games and so on and so forth, or use their software to set up whichever buttons you want for whatever in that mode. So you can put jump, punch, or whatever on any of these buttons. So it's great for that. I recommend this. I do say if you're going to pick this up, maybe get a powered hub if you have similar issues. Overall, good controller. Thanks for watching. It's Unholy Vision signing out. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for further videos and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching.